This is the story of why my ex-girlfriend's dad hated me. Or maybe hate is a strong word. But it was close enough. Very close to being hate. Maybe a bit more like dislike. I don't like someone and he didn't like me. It is what it is. He wasn't just ignoring me. He actively did not like me. And this is why. Honestly, I have to say I do understand why. So, this was a few years ago. At the time, I had a girlfriend. She said, I want you to meet my dad. I want you to meet my dad. Meet my dad? Whoa. I was a bit nervous as soon as she said it. I was pretty nervous. Oh. Because as you know, meeting a dad is a bit scary, right? A bit scary. Oh. I was very nervous. Of course, I was very, very nervous. Wouldn't anyone be? I really wanted him to like me. I wanted to make a good first impression. I did. So, I went to her house. I knocked on the door and her dad answered. He looked at me and he said, all right. That was it. There was nothing else. No other words. Just, all right. It wasn't friendly. It wasn't warm. It was just, all right. So we sat down and we started talking. He was asking me questions, so I answered those questions. They were very simple questions like, what do you do? What do you do? Hey? For work. And where are you from? Where did you grow up? And how old are you? How old are you? How many years have you been on this earth? And I answered everything. I tried my best, yeah? I was trying to impress. I tried to stay calm. But here was the first problem. I made my first mistake. He asked, so, what are your plans? What are your plans? And I just didn't really understand the question properly. I didn't understand. I said, I don't really have a plan. I don't really have one. Just go with the flow, as they say in English. Go with the flow. I don't have a plan. Bad answer. He looked at me and there was silence. Long silence. You know that silence when you know something's wrong. And then came the second mistake. Dinner. We were all eating together. Right? It was a lovely dinner, thickly made by her mum, who loved me, by the way. Her mum loved me. It's just the dad that didn't. And I was, nervous. I was quite scared still. Even though I was trying to remain calm, I was still a little bit afraid, I'll be honest. So I was talking a lot. Because I was nervous. Yeah? You understand? But I was talking too much. Way too much. I started making jokes. But they were bad jokes. Bad. No laughing. No laughing at all happened at that table. No. They were bad jokes. I made a joke about work. I said, yeah, I don't like working too much. It was a bad joke. It didn't even have a punchline. No punchline equals bad joke. Her dad, who is a very hard-working man indeed, he did not laugh. Not even a little bit. Then the final mistake. Then the third mistake. The final mistake. The worst mistake. He had actually helped make the dinner. He had cooked the majority of the food. I didn't realize that. And I said, this is interesting. Interesting. That, unfortunately, I know now, is not a good word to describe something as. Interesting sounds sarcastic. It can mean that you don't like it. He looked at me and said, interesting? And I said, yeah, interesting. Yeah, exactly. Right? Right, everyone? Now he was angry. Not shouting, but quiet. That's even worse, if you ask me. In my book, that's even worse. That's a good saying, isn't it? In my book. In my book. That's when you believe something. And in my book, I think being quiet is actually worse than shouting in some ways if someone's angry. Wouldn't you agree? The room felt cold. The room was cold. Oh. Someone open a window. I tried to fix it. I did try. I really tried to fix what I'd said. I'd obviously said something wrong. So I said, no, I like it. I promise I like it. I do. I mean, interesting in a good way. Interesting in a good way. Ooh, I like the food. But It was too late. The damage was done. The damage was done. There was one final mistake that I made, and this actually probably was the biggest one, not the other one. This is the biggest one. The biggest mistake that I made that night. He asked, "Do you take care of my daughter? Do you take care of my daughter?" Big question, important question. And I said, as a joke, I try my best. I try my best. Oh, I'm an idiot. I'm an idiot. That is not the right answer. I wish I could go back in time and change what I said. I should have said, "Yes, I love your daughter so much, sir. I want to thank you for giving me such a amazing woman in my life." But no, I said I try my best, trying to be funny and break the tension. It did not work. He looked at me, and yet again, he did not smile. There was no smiles, no. Dinner was finished. We all stood up. He said, "Nice to meet ya. Nice to meet ya." But it did not feel nice. Not one bit. I think he was lying about the nice part. I left the house and I knew I'd made terrible errors all evening. Terrible errors. I knew that he did not like me. I knew it. I just knew. I'd done too many bad things. Too many things wrong. And honestly, I don't blame him. I don't blame him for not liking me. I made bad jokes. I said the wrong things. And sometimes that's enough. That's enough to not like someone. I'd say it's a bit harsh. A bit harsh. But he didn't seem to think so. He disliked me for the rest of our relationship. That's the truth. And that's why he hated me. That's why my ex-girlfriend's dad hated me. Be careful out there. Have you ever had a situation like that with an ex-girlfriend's father/mother? Did they like you? If they did, please give me some tips. Subscribe. I hope you enjoyed it. I hope this taught you some new words that you didn't know before. At my expense, teaching you stories. See you in the next one. Bye.